the 528 North Banana River Drive, intersection there. Nice ramp. Thursday afternoon, there were probably between 4 and 5 o'clock on Thursday afternoon. I had 2 half-day trips, near-shore trips. Pulled back in, fishing the jetties for snook, kind of wrapped the day up. And there were 35 or 40 boats heading offshore at 4 to 5 p.m.
Oh, that a Thursday evening.
On Thursday evening.
Right, getting ready
for 12:01 a.m. Friday morning. And I was just like, this is
die hard.
Crazy.
Die hard, man.
Crazy.
It's hard.
And, I talked to a couple of guys that were out yesterday, and, one guy, Bryson Wright, he goes, hey, man, I'm out here in the middle of this. And he goes, I really don't want to be, but you got any suggestions? I sent him a number. I was like, go try this. Okay, man, thanks. He said he got there. It's just a public number, but it's a number that holds red snapper.
Right.
Okay. Consistently holds red snapper. So this targeted species should be there when you show up is what I'm thinking. He shows up. He says, there's a guy on a jet ski.
No way.
And a guy in a family, like a mom, a dad, and 3 young kids in a pontoon boat. 16 miles offshore. Now, is it possible? Yeah. Is it probably not the smartest thing in the world to do?
No, I wouldn't say it's the safest thing.
Now, we didn't have weather yesterday. It was calm. It was just it was kind of like driving a 16-mile drive down the lagoon system.
Right.
I get that. But what if a storm kicks up?
Yeah.
You get a storm kicks up and it starts blowing 40 or 50, and now you've got 4-footers or 5-footers that you're faced with trying to beat your way back through in that pontoon boat. There's no bow lift.
No,
there's no bow lift in a pond. You don't. It's not like a planing hull.
No, not at all.
You're pretty much just riding flat.
You're plowing, yeah.
And so I'm thinking to myself, I mean, kudos to them for going and the effort put in, but it's just it makes people make questionable decisions, Brian.
It does.
And I just look at it and I go, man, I don't know, man.
I have no interest in doing it, period.
I'm just not that mad at the red snapper. I have to go
not at all.
Fight
not at all.
the circus to get to them.
I saw pictures on Facebook last night that people were posting, and you see 6-7 boats all around them. It's just, I don't know. It's kind of reminds me of the tournament days in the Redfish series. Everybody just on top of one another. I just don't like to fish that way.
I saw 4 boats yesterday.
Nice.
4.
You're probably in Port Canaveral.
I know from 520 Causeway, which is where I launched.
Okay.
I launched right behind Doc's Bait House, that little ramp there, because the one on the other side still closed. Although that one's getting ready to open pretty soon.
Okay.
Lee Winter Park's getting ready to open. So, in fact, if my friend Mike is listening, or maybe I'll text him and see if he might have an update, because that project is getting pretty close to completion. So that's a good thing, because that's a sorely missed.
Right.
And very much needed boat ramp through the central part of the community, or the county. But long story short, so I
only go through the locks, I guess, when you put in it there. No,
I never go through the locks. Okay. I either fish Kelly Park and fish the Banana River, which I'd been fishing, or I just go to the port.
Gotcha.
But so I launched there behind Doc's Bait House at that little boat ramp yesterday, and had and I ran. I fished between there and Banana Creek.
Okay.
So I fished from Cocoa to Titusville yesterday. And the morning trip, we had some ladyfish. We had, obviously, you throw a shrimp overboard right now, and you're going to find a catfish. There's no choice in the matter.
Yep.
We had some sail cats. We had quite a few trout. We had a shot or 2 at a tarpon. We didn't jump any. But we had some interest. We had some swings and misses.
Right.
On artificial, which is always cool.
Oh, yeah, it's cool.
And then my second half day, we crushed it. Because that full moon kind of...
the afternoon bite.
Yeah.
It was a struggle yesterday morning.
With the snook, I netted some pogies, and the snook were just going, oh, yeah. We will eat those.
Yeah, it was that morning bite yesterday. We got a couple snook, but it was
first thing. It was good,
and then as soon as that moon got right in the horizon, it just shut off. And it's just. But that early morning bite this coming week should be better. That moon's still going to be high. And
well,
high
looking
in the
at
sky.
looking at the major for today, it's 2:08 to 4:08 p.m. So that
pretty good
mid-afternoon to late afternoon.
If you can dodge the storms,
that's the problem. That's the thing. I did have to race around one yesterday. We got in the middle of one yesterday. It got between us and the boat ramp, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, look, I got the Facebook feed to come up. Let's see what we can say. Good morning to everybody. Welcome to the radio show. Man, look at that. I got the fastest thumb in town. Plink, 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 right?
Yeah.
One finger at a time.
Yep, that's it.
So, Brian, yesterday morning's bite, man. Good bite.
First,
sound like you found some snook.
We found some good snook yesterday morning. Like I said, it was about an hour. We had a little spike in the bite on the major. I think it was between 6 and 8. I want to say, and then probably about 7:30 it shut down, and then right when the tide just about stopped, a little rock pile up there in Edgewater I'll go to, and they're stacked on it, and we got. We put right at the end. We put 2 snook in the boat. I think both of them were right around 27. And then we had a couple we had them on and just couldn't connect.
Now,
and then it just stopped. That was it. When that tide stopped, we went for a boat ride and went to go scan a couple spots for some of the bulls, and the tide not moving. They weren't
bull
really
reds
around.
Or bull
the bull reds,
sharks.
Bull reds.
Because there's a lot.
There's a ton of them.
There's a lot of bull sharks in the river right now.
I get to the point if I get those big fish into the boat, I don't even. Sometimes I'm scared to put them back in the water, and I always keep their tail out of the water a little bit because I'm just waiting for the tax man to come down.
Well, you saw that guy
there.
down in the Everglades the other day. Got bit on the arm and jerked over the side of the boat again. And that's 4. I've seen 4 or 5. Well, I heard about that one, but I've seen 4 or 5 different videos of guys fishing down in that area where that water's pretty dirty.
It is,
and the bull sharks just don't care.
They don't.
And when I was down there in May, in fact, we discussed this on one of the shows once I got back from doing my stint down in the Keys. I pulled up to one spot up in where you go up inside Middle Cape, and so I run around East Cape, run up to Middle Cape, and I'm fishing the mouth of Middle Cape on both sides. And not really having too much luck. So I pull around. There's a little spot on the inside I like to go to, especially on an outgoing tide, because there's a little creek that flows out from the north side in there. And I get up in the mouth of behind that little creek. The bull sharks followed me all the way up in there. I've got my side scan running, to see what's going on.
Yeah.
And you stop, and you're not marking anything, okay? But I stopped because I could see the snook laying under the mangroves, and I could see a Goliath. There was a Goliath floating up under a mangrove tree, and he was probably about 20 pounds, right? So I'm like, oh, okay, let's get ready. Let's do this. And so we're casting at him, and I look at the side scan, and there's one bull shark. And then within a minute, there's 2 bull sharks. Now, I'm sitting on the trolling motor with my sounder going. The only thing I can figure is the bull sharks have either figured out the sound of the trolling motor or the sound
sounder,
of the ticking of the ping.
Yeah.
Within, Brian, I am not kidding you, within 8 or 9 minutes of sitting there, we hooked 2 fish, bull sharks chasing them all the way to the boat. Okay. One got off, one we got in. Within 8 or 9 minutes, there are now 5 separate, distinct bull shark marks.
Wow. On the sounder.
On my sounder.
Wow.
I got like 3 out the right side of the boat and 2 out the left side of the boat.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, this has gotten out of control. It has.
It has. Sometimes I think the fish that, like we side scan schools of snook or redfish, sometimes you wonder if they're getting used to that.
They are.
That ticking
I can tell you
sound.
the ones at the port do.
Because you could roll up on them, scan them, drop a bait, and you don't get bit. then you're like, I don't know. Then you move, go scan the other side, and next thing you know, it's like they went to the other side, and then you get on there, then they go back to the other side. So I don't know. It's just
I think they're getting accustomed.
They're getting smart.
I know that when I'm tarpon fishing, I typically turn my unit off.
Oh, do you?
And I typically catch a lot more with my unit turned off than I do with it on. Just the number of bites in general.
Right.
You can immediately tell an increase in the number of bites. With the snook, when I find a school of snook and I'm trying to fish that school, you're right. If you are lined up and they're sitting in the beam, if you're within 40 feet of them, they will move. At about 60 feet, 65 feet, they won't. So most of my customers can only cast about 60 feet. So that's the limit. I mean, I'll set my scan on 80 a lot of times.
Yes.
But be marking the fish at 50 or 60, knowing that that's, kind of the maximum distance we're going to get the bait tossed out there. And they'll hold. You can continue to mark them and they'll hold. But if I've really noticed probably in the last year, at least 6 months definitely last 6 months. If you sit there with them sitting in your beam on your side scan, they will move.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, they will move. And so that's one of the things that, obviously you and I both, because we see it every day, we realize, hey, I'm going to turn my sounder off or whatever. And then, if you turn it off and you're getting bit, good. If you turn it off and you're not getting bit, and you're like, wait a minute, I didn't turn it back on, and I had to check again.
And let's scan it again.
Just to make sure.
Yeah.
But yes, I believe that sharks, snooks, tarpons, I believe that everything is becoming smarter. As we become smarter with our technology and we're utilizing these other pieces of equipment that we didn't have. Back in the day, all you had was an anchor and a rope. And a hope.
Exactly.
There was, a school of snooks laying against the side of the jetty there,
Right.
And so as we get smarter, I think we're definitely making those fish.
Yeah, that's true. Just imagine, if we had this technology back in the day, it's just how much, all the fish we're finding.
That's the thing, though. Think about 20 years ago. Think about when you first came to Mosquito Lagoon. And you could sit at Beacon 42 boat ramp on some mornings waiting on your clients and swatting no-see-ums.
Right.
And think to yourself, man, I hope that tail and redfish over there doesn't go away before my customers get here.
Right.
Because you could look and see one,
right.
tailing right there.
And just and burning flats like we used to back in the day. And that's how we found our fish. We didn't use any side scan.
Well, and half the time you'd be going, oh, okay, I'm going to launch out of Beacon 42 and I'm going to go to Preachers, right?
Right.
I'm going to go fish Preachers. And you get, but you're like, I'm just going to jump across False Channel Bar and run around the back of Stick Island and through Pardon Slough and, I'll make my way up there.
Right,
I'll make my way there. I'm not going to just go on a direct line. And you jump a school or two before. Sometimes you never got to Preachers,
right? Exactly.
Or Tiger Shoal,
right?
You never even got there.
Stay back in the slough over there or something. There they are. Right, we're just going to fish them here today.
We're just sit down here and fish these fish,
right?
So, well, guys and gals, we're going to take our first break of the day. Appreciate you tuning into this morning's radio show. Remember, WWBC app. If you guys and gals aren't within the radio broadcast area for whatever reason, and you want to listen to the show at any given time, you can always download the WWBC app. And, of course, we're on Facebook as well. 321-632-1000. That's 632-1000 is our call-in line. We'd love to hear from you guys and gals. Give us a shout. We're going to be right back with a whole lot more Catch a Memory with Captain Brian Pounds and myself, Jim Ross, after these messages. Hey, guys and gals, Anheuser-Busch and your local Bud and Bud Light distributor, Carroll Distributing, are at it again. For the past 15 years, they've been partnered with Folds of Honor, and this year, Carroll Distributing will be donating an additional $1 for every case sold from the two iconic brands with their American Beers for American Heroes promotion. And, to date, they've put over $33 million into this particular cause for Folds of Honor, which helps the lost loved ones, or the ones that loved ones have lost in the armed forces, the police, the firefighting communities, and it gives them scholarship opportunities and a variety of other things. So it's a really cool opportunity. So now through September 1st, you can buy any case and help a family in need. So what are you waiting for? Get out there and pick up a case, or maybe even 2 today. Help those guys and gals out. You know, that's such a great promotion that Carroll Distributing is doing. I mean, think about it. They were doing, they did 12 cents for the 12th year. They did 13 cents for the 13th year. 14 cents for the 14th year. Well, this year they were just like, oh, the heck with it. We're just going to donate $1 every case of Bud or Bud Light between now and September 1st. That's awesome. Strong. That's awesome. That's a strong support statement.
That's a lot of money.
Yeah. Yeah. Strong support statement. Pretty cool, though. You got American companies that are, semi-sort of American companies, but definitely American beers that are supporting American heroes.
Yep.
So that's always pretty neat. Hey, I also want to let you know this segment of the show is brought to you by Integrity Pest Management. So, I saw Dave last night from Integrity and at the Jimmy Schick Memorial Red Snapper Tournament Captain's Party over at Fish Lips last night. Had a good time out there seeing a bunch of my good friends, a bunch of fishermen out there. And he said, hey man, when do you need me to swing by? And I said, this week would be good because, I hadn't really had anything going on, but now we've got all this rain. And guess what? There they are. The ants.
Oh.
It's like, where did they come from? It's like the rain makes them grow.
They head indoors.
They try. So if you guys and gals, if you've got a problem with pests, Integrity Pest Management is the way to go. They specialize in getting rid of pests, termites, and, wildlife. If you got squirrels, you got raccoons, you got mice, rats, whatever it happens to be, they take care of them safely and effectively for you. You've got years of experience with commitment and commitment to integrity, and they will help protect your home from these unwanted invaders using eco-friendly and efficient solutions. So don't wait for the damage to pile up. Call Integrity Pest Management for a free inspection and let them restore peace and security to your home. You can give them a call, 321-637-1199. That's 321-637-1199. That's Integrity Pest Management, or you can get them at integritypestmanagement.com. So give them a call and restore some peace of mind for yourself. That is for sure. Let's say good morning, see what's going on out here on the Facebook feed this morning, Brian. Let's see. Shay Hobby, Jonathan Raby, Daryl McCall. Thank you, Daryl. I'm throwing a big thank you out there to Daryl McCall. He invited me up to his place last year to do a little hunting, and I didn't mess up too bad. So he's asked me, I asked him if I might be able to get a return invite, and he said, yep, we can work something out. So I appreciate that out of him. Hopefully I'll get me a little doe, a little slick head action. Who else we got here? William Stratton, Joe Kennedy, Darren Bolton's on with us. Charlie Silver, good morning, buddy. I'm surprised Charlie's not out wrecking the red snapper this morning. Daniel Hart, world's best realtor, on with us this morning. So, and of course, a longtime sponsor of this show. Great guy. If you guys and gals are looking for, you need some property, you're looking for a house, Daniel is the man to call. That's Daniel Hart. Definitely give him a shout. Just a great guy. Absolutely great guy. Bo Bergeron's on with us this morning. He says, what days am I going to ICAST this year?
That's actually coming up.
That's coming up this week. ICAST is this week. Well, actually, Bo, I will not be participating this year.
Negative.
I'm
too busy.
I was planning on going. It's not that I wasn't planning on going. I was planning on going, and I do have a couple of people that I really kind of need to sit down with. But I made some phone calls and kind of worked towards not having to go to the show, and so It's
always great to see your supporters.
That's the thing. I love seeing everybody, but I just came off of this Petri dish flight back from Alaska. And I'm kind of tired of people. I'm not going to lie. I'm just kind of over it.
That was a pretty cool trip. I kept up with you on social.
That thing was catching. That's not a fishing trip. That's a catching trip. But I'm telling you, do not go up there expecting to, it's easy. Yeah. We're catching halibut out of 360 feet of water, hand cranking.
Wow.
You got to rub some MAN on that arm, you know?
Yeah.
Because you get a 40 or 50 pound halibut on,
That's pretty cool.
And you're trying to pull him out of 360. Yeah.
Yeah. What's the use for bait on them up there?
So it's really cool. It's very similar to if you were going to go grouper digging out here in 250 feet of water.
It's a live bait.
It's well, they don't really have live bait up there. Okay. So what they have is vertical speed jigs.
Okay.
You know, like a Benthos or a Vortex. You know, this is like a Williamson Vortex, more like the Williamson Vortex jigs.
Right.
250 grain roughly, and you're fishing anywhere from 80 feet to about 140 for the various rockfish and lingcod.
Okay.
And there's a bunch of different kinds of rockfish. I was surprised at how many different kinds we caught. And then lingcod, we caught lingcod. Blair caught this gigantic octopus.
Really?
Yeah. On the vertical jig.
Yeah.
What else we got? Greenlings, kelp greenlings or something like that.
Oh.
And just, all kinds. It's just a bunch of different things.
Right.
Then, but normally, so that's on the vertical speed jigs. But if you're wanting to catch the cod, the what they call pea cod, not a ling cod, but a pea cod, which looks like a regular northeast Atlantic coast cod, kind of a thing, you know. Cod, fluke, arrowtooth flounder, halibut. I'm trying to think if there was anything else that we caught in the deeper water. I think those were the main species that we caught. So that's all 240, 250 to well into the 365, 370 range.
Okay.
Now, you have to quantify a couple of things. One, you're not dealing with 4 knots of current like you would be out here in 300 feet of water. You're not in the middle of the Gulf Stream. Okay. Yes, there is current. There's 20-foot tide swings there.
Wow.
So there is current,
20.
But it's not as, most of the places we fished, it was not as bad as what I was anticipating it to be. Yeah, 20-foot tides. Yeah, you get to the dock in the morning.
Yeah.
And the dock's like almost kind of parallel with the landing. And in the afternoon, you get back, and it's like mountain climbing to get.
You get like a ladder to come out of the boat.
It's a 100 and something foot long floating dock.
Okay.
The gangway is about 100 feet long.
Kind of like up in the mountains or whatever. They got those long docks, and they just.
Yeah, it's just like the ones at Port Canaveral.
Okay.
Floating docks.
Okay.
Except that instead of being 20 or 30 feet long, they're at least 100. Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah. Pretty cool.
But it was really
stuff
cool.
You don't see every day.
But you're dropping vertical speed jigs on those smaller fish, and then for the peacod and the halibut, we were dropping, depending on what the current was, either about a 12-ounce jig with a smaller curly tail, kind of like maybe a 6-inch curly tail, but more, like a swim bait.
Okay.
Kind of think of the size of like a storm swim bait that's a 5-inch storm, 6-inch storm swim bait, but with a curly tail. Right. Okay, so something that's a little smaller profile.
Right.
And then for the 24-ounce jigs, a curly tail that's probably 2 inches in diameter for the body, maybe 3 inches in diameter, probably 3 inches in diameter for the body, and a big curly tail like you would use for grouper out here.
Okay.
And on them, you would put pieces of cut up herring.
Okay.
Just to give it some scent. And so you drop down to the bottom, and some of the guys were using chicken rigs. You'd have your weighted jig on the bottom, and then you'd have an unweighted hook with a curly tail, a 5 or 6 inch curly tail on it, just up above it, kind of like a northeast flounder rig.
Okay.
Or what you would call a chicken rig here, but typically a chicken rig for like lane snappers or something like that.
Right.
You're putting a bait on both hooks. where they didn't really put a bait on the top hook. They just let it flutter.
Okay.
So you drop it down, and you feel it hit the bottom. And some places it was relatively firm sand, and some places it was a little bit muddy. You could kind of feel the jig stick just a little bit in the mud. Mm-hmm. So all you do is you just lift up a foot or two, and then let it drop. Lift up a foot or two, and let it drop. So you're just sitting there tapping it
on
the bottom. And they feel that vibration, and they come to that vibration. And then, of course, they hit the scent trail because you've got a little piece of herring on it.
Right.
And you're lifting, and then you can't lift.
Can't lift. Game over.
And there he is.
Yep.
Start reeling.
Yeah.
And it's work, but it's great work.
Yeah.
It's fun work.
Worth it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about sharks. It's not like out here where, I got to get him off the bottom because he's either going to get me in the rocks or get me sharked.
Right.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So you don't have to worry about that. Especially with the halibut and the peacod, it's on soft bottom without a lot of rock around.
Cool.
So it was fun fishing, good fishing, and it wasn't fishing, it was catching. I mean, it was just flat out catching. We had on the day that we went for the rockfish, I'm going to say we caught 40 to 50 fish.
Wow.
That we had to release, and still brought home a plenty.
That's cool.
Of fish that were keepable fish, including the lingcods and the greenlings and some of the other various types of rockfish that were open. Yeah. We were catching a lot of these ones called yellow eyes. They're bright orange.
Oh, really?
Bright, fluorescent orange with yellow eyes.
Mm.
And they were really cool. And then quillbacks. We caught a China rockfish, which was like black and yellow. It was really neat. And parakeet rockfish. I forgot there were so many different kinds. I couldn't even keep. You couldn't keep them all straight. We just look at the captain. Yes, no,
right.
Nope, that one's got to go back. Yep, we can keep that one. Right. Yes, okay. So yeah, big time. I highly recommend if you get a chance to go.
Cool.
Well, guys and gals, we're going to take our next break. When we come back, we got a whole lot more coming right back at you from right here at Catch a Memory Outdoors. Hey, guys and gals, welcome back. This hour of Catch a Memory is presented by Bud and Bud Light from Carroll Distributing, a family-owned and operated distributor eagerly serving Brevard County drivers and beer drinkers since 1960. Those guys that just get out there and deliver those cold frosty beverages to you every day. Those guys, they're working hard this time of the year because there's 4th of July weekend. There was more beer going out of the store, I think, than was coming in. When I was at the Publix, I couldn't believe people were stacking beers up that high in the cart, but they definitely keep those guys running. So thanks to the truck drivers out there as well for those.
I am the beer man.
Yep, there you go. What else we got going on? We got direct graphics. So if Brian, we're always looking for a way to promote ourselves, and obviously. Boat wraps, truck wraps, business cards, all of those. We need all of those sorts of things. So, one of the things that I've been really fortunate over the years is having some pretty cool looking truck wraps. Mm-hmm. And the guys at Direct Graphics are the guys that have designed all those for me. So, if you guys and gals need any kind of promotional, anything to promote your business, or you just want to, I see a lot of people now just putting murals on the sides of their boats. Like dolphins and sailfishes and flying fishes.
Yeah, kind of looks that now.
Kind of looks like a Wyland or a Guy Harvey or a a painting down the side of the boat. That's what they do. So give Direct Graphics in Cocoa a call at 321-631-1001, and they can get you hooked up over there. So let's talk about New Smyrna, because New Smyrna is becoming the new snook capital of the East Coast, it seems like. It doesn't matter what month that you want to go. There's a snook somewhere to be caught in New Smyrna.
It's the inlets, the inlet, the bridges, docks, backwater canals, creeks. In my opinion, I've been doing this 21 years now. Yeah. Amy and I moved to Edgewater 8 years ago, and I started fishing it. each year.
Because you were a South Lagoon guy and a North River guy before then.
That's it. I was a Titusville guide, man, and that was the only place. And then we moved, and you kind of get on your little Google Earth, and you see stuff. Okay, that looks pretty cool. That's cool. You just doing your research from home, not being on the water, and like, I'm gonna go check this out. And man, I found a whole new fishery, in my opinion. I mean, I still do the lagoon a lot. This year I didn't go to Fort Pierce. I stayed home. I was too busy red fishing.
Yeah.
But I don't really.
And the red fishing this spring was really good.
It was great.
Yeah.
It was awesome. But this time, winter time, I'm snooking backwaters. And then once it warms up, I'm in the lagoon. And then once June, July, August, September gets here, I fish in the river, like around the Edgewater area, up to New Smyrna. But this time of year, normally about 3/4 of the way through June is when some of the big snook and a lot of males start showing up on the docks, and they're there for the spawn on the full moons. And
now, do you feel like those fish are spawning? Because like at Canaveral, okay, they go to the jetties,
right?
Like all the beach fish that I've been catching the last 2 weeks,
right?
And if you've seen any of my space fish reports, any of the Florida Insider Fishing reports, or listen to this radio show, you know that I've been catching fish along the beaches.
Right.
That stopped.
Okay.
That stopped on Monday. Everything went directly to the inlet. Got schooled up. So are they doing the same thing at Ponce where they go to the jetties themselves, or are they still kind of find other places that they can spawn?
They're stacked up in the inlet, but that's everybody knows about it. And there's so many people that go out there. I mean, it's like red snapper. You got to leave at midnight to fish the next day to get a spot. I mean, the fishing's great, but I don't do crowds. I can't do crowds. And I think these fish that I'm on in the intercoastal on the docks and rock piles, I'm sure some of the big females have gone to the inlet, but I could be wrong, but I think these fish just don't migrate to the inlet. There's areas in the river, deep holes, ledges that when the tide's right, they do their spawn there. They don't leave that.
That's cool.
And I don't have anybody around me, and that's the best part about it.
That's such a great feeling.
I'll see some couple guides or somebody ride by, and I'll just kind of hold the rod down, But they know what I'm doing. But with these guys up, it's just a respect thing. They're not going to come in on you. But one thing I have noticed in Smyrna is everybody's kind of cool. There's really not a lot of drama. Of course, there's so many guides up there now. With a lot of you don't have to have permits up.
Really?
Like the lagoon, like in Ponce, anybody can get a captain's license and go fish. You don't.
Oh yeah. You don't have to have
so you got all that open water, but that fine line stops there. You get on down toward Goodrich's and all that. That's when you have to have your permits. To stay in the lagoon. So it's just a cool fishery. You got life up there. You see people. You see just docks. It's cool to go out in the lagoon, but you don't see anybody, and I don't really see that many boats down in the south end like I used to, which I'm not mad about. I don't have anybody blowing around all over me, but it's a different life up there in Smyrna. There's life there, there's like people, but you always see something interesting up there. It's crazy.
Well, I think, when you look at the intricacies of that fishery up there, you've got places like Spruce Creek. Mm-hmm. You could probably fish Spruce Creek 365 days a year.
You probably could.
And catch some kind of species or another.
Make sure you got an aluminum boat.
Yeah. But, I mean, if you just took just that little tiny piece of water and said, what can I do here? You could fish that 365. And whether you're catching a mangrove snapper, a flounder, a redfish, a trout, a snook, a ladyfish, a jack, and whatever else, just that little teeny piece of water's got all those possibilities. Tarpon at certain times of the year. And so when you take that and you multiply it basically by 100 or whatever, because of all of the little cuts, creeks, diversions that go around all of the islands between the North River, Calalisa Creek, and then all the way down to let's call George's Bar the end of the world,
right?
As far as that part of the world goes,
Correct.
When you look at all of the different opportunities that are in there, holy cow! It's endless. It's endless.
It's just islands everywhere, you know, and it's definitely different. Kind of reminds me of Homosassa a little bit.
Yeah.
Dad and I used to fish over there years ago. And you get in those islands and those cuts. That's what it reminds me of. But you don't over there. You don't see the condos. But you get lost back in there. You just look one way or the other. You see the condos.
You know which way to go.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the truth.
But it's a pretty cool fishery, no doubt.
Well, like you say, with all of the different types of structure, between shallow grass flats to deep rocky ledges, there's any number of different kinds of fishing that you can do in a day, and so the possibilities are pretty much endless. They really are.
Yeah,
pretty much endless.
We went down to George's. A month or two ago. The water was cleaning up in the lagoon and it started getting dirty a little bit. We took a little ride up there. Actually, we put in a haul over and drove, but we were still red fishing. But the grass on top of George's was unreal. You had a little bit of dirty water, and then you get on top of the flat, which it was shallow. We couldn't get on it. The water was just crystal clear. And you look and you see redfish tailing here. You know, not a school, but in the middle of the day at 11 o'clock, you see them in that and you can't cast them. You want to jump out of the boat and see if you can go get them. But that was really cool to see. I've seen schools and a lot of tailing fish this past year.
Yeah, it's coming back. That's for sure. Well, guys and gals, we're going to take our next break. If you want to give us a call, though, we'd love to hear from you. Give Brian and I a call here on the radio station, 321-632-1000. We're going to be right back with a whole lot more Catch Your Memory after these messages. Hey, guys and gals, welcome back. We appreciate you tuning in every Saturday right here to Catch Your Memory Outdoors. Welcome back to the show, and this hour has been presented to you by Bud and Bud Light from your friends over there at Carroll Distributing. And, they've got this American Beers for American Heroes project going on right now. And, like we said before, if you like to drink those two beers, obviously, you're being a big part of this partnership that they've had for 15 years with Folds of Honor, giving $1 of every case of beer out for those two iconic brands. So it helps support scholarships and various other things like we had mentioned before. But you know what? If you're looking for a way to help and you enjoy beer, then this is a way to do it, because it does help those fallen veterans, the families of fallen veterans and first responders, through the Folds of Honor. So show your support for those who have given their all on the front lines to make this country great, and buy some Bud or Bud Light this weekend. Brian, this segment is brought to you by Engel Coolers. And yesterday, I had a 4-man group in the morning and a one-person trip in the afternoon. Guy in the afternoon gets on the boat and he says, "Where can I put my sandwiches and drinks?" I say, "Let's throw them right here in the cooler." Mm-hmm. And he opens the cooler up, and it's 3/4 full of ice. And he's like, "How do you like this Engel cooler?" He goes, "I'm thinking about buying one." And I said, "I love that thing." Yeah. And he said, "Is this how much ice you have from this morning?" I said, "No." He said, "What do you mean? I didn't see ice back up when you came back in, to drop your guys off." I said, "No. That's from yesterday morning." I put ice in that cooler yesterday morning. I had a 3-man morning crew. I had a 4-man afternoon crew overnight, 4-man morning crew yesterday morning, and then him at noon in the afternoon, at noontime.
Still 3/4
3/4 full.
Yeah. They're pretty good.
Yeah.
Pretty good.
If you don't like the price of ice, spend a little more and get you an Engel, and you won't be spending nearly as much money on ices as you have been. I can tell you.
Do you normally keep your drain plug closed?
I barely keep it cracked, just so it would drip.
That's what I do.
I think that's the trick to it. I find that if I close my drain plug, once you start getting ice in there or water in there,
the slush starts.
I think it melts the ice faster.
Yes.
But if you just barely keep the little petcock cracked so it can just weep out, you're not losing a bunch of cold, but you are losing that water.
The water that falls out. That's what
I'll
throw a bag, get a bag of ice, break it. Not really break it. I leave it in the bag. I smash it up on the ground and throw the bag in there. Next morning I get up, get ready to go. I'm like, well, do I need ice today? Or that bag will hold for 24 hours in that cooler. Yeah. They're pretty good.
So get you an Engel cooler, engelcoolers.com or one of your local retailers. That's what we're trying to get y'all to check out because it's pretty darn cool. Brian, we were talking about this whole snook thing, this whole new Smyrna snook thing that's basically become a phenomenon in the last 5 or 6 years. It really has.
The snook population
has
just really grown.
It's gone from there's snook in New Smyrna to I can fish for snook 365 days in New Smyrna.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Yep.
So let's talk about this time of the year. It's hot. Do you find that the fish transition from shallow to deep during the day, or have they just gotten to the point where they're just like, oh, we just want to stay deep at this point?
Deep docks.
Yeah.
There's a lot of coquino up through that area, and there's a lot of deep ledges, and that's, to me, that's where I don't really catch them on the flats. It's all deep water, croakers, live croakers, no weights. You can use a weight depending on where you're.
Yeah, if you're out in the main current flow,
or something. But hanging around docks, it's just that's that. One day it could be croakers, one day it could be spots. One day pinfish. I've caught a few snook on pinfish, but it's mainly all croakers.
It's interesting. I find that pinfish in like February, January or February, all of a sudden pinfish becomes like the thing.
I've caught them in the port on pinfish.
Yes.
Other people were throwing croakers and spots and weren't doing anything, and then we're throwing out all we could get that morning was pinfish.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden it's like it turned on, and
But you throw it to them in June and they're like, nah.
No.
Mm-mm. I'll tell you what they really like right now. You go net one of those 8 to 10 inch mullet. Oh yeah.
Big snook.
Oh yeah.
40-inch range.
Yeah. They love an 8 to 10 inch mullet. They will try to eat a turbo. I was throwing turbos at them, those big yellowfin menhaden that weigh 2 pounds apiece, because I couldn't find any regular pogies on Thursday. So I just netted some turbos and some mullet. And
snook were eating those.
Oh, they were pounding them, but we couldn't get. We went 2 for 11 on our hookups, so it was pretty poor hookup ratio. They were actually biting them and coming up 12, 15 feet out of the water and spitting them.
Okay.
Because I don't know if they choked on it or I don't know what.
Bit might be just a tick too big to.
It was too big.
Yeah.
I mean, those 30 to 35 inch snook just weren't able to choke one of those big things down. Now the mullet, little thinner profile, not a problem. But those big fat backs, those big turbo pogies, we lost a lot of fish.
Huh. Well,
but they were trying them.
Oh yeah,
they were trying them.
Are you getting a lot of like 44s, 45s? No. What's the average you're catching in the port right now?
The Port Canaveral fish and the Sebastian fish, for the most part, those fish are on the low end, 27 or 28.
Okay.
Most of the time you're going to catch, if you catch 10 snook, one is going to be that small.
Okay.
The rest of the fish are all 30, 31, up to about 36.
That's about what I'm doing.
And then you'll get 1 or 2 that's, 38, 39. And I'm going to say once a month, we'll get a 40.
Okay. Yeah, we got a 37, 38 the other morning. First time the guys ever caught a snook. First time you ever been snook fishing. And I looked at that fish. I'm like, I haven't caught a fish that big in the river. It was impressive. I'm like, oh my, and the leader was just, hanging on by a thread.
Just shredded, huh?
Yeah, and I was like, they seem like they're starting to get a little bigger. Yeah. But average 27 to 33 maybe you get a good snook. Yeah. But getting them that big in the river, I was just dinosaurs. I was like, man, what? This is starting to become pretty cool.
Well, and it's interesting. So I had J.R. Hunsberger out yesterday afternoon, and I hadn't had him out in quite a few years, but we finally got a chance to get him back out. And we were talking about the snook, and he says, so I took him to one of my snook spots in the Indian River. And I had caught some pogies right there behind Doc's Bait House. There's a bunch of pogies in that little basin right now. So I threw the net, got me some pogies, and we ran on up the river and tried to do a little tarpon fishing. And, we marked some bull sharks, had catfish. Didn't get any, had some jacks, had some nice jacks too. But we didn't get any tarpon in that spot. Actually, where I was fishing? The intersection where the channel comes out of the barge canal.
Okay.
And intersects with the Indian River ICW channel right there on the north side of the 528 bridge.
Right.
I came running through there and I looked over and I saw tarpon roll, so I throttled it back, shut down, had side scan on, went 50 yards, marked 3 more tarpon and a bull shark. And I'm like, oh, we're fishing here. This is, so turn the side scan off, put the trolling motor over, started turning circles, dragging the pogies behind the boat and pitching soft plastics. So we had a handful of those, whiskered sea bass, those sail cats that are always with the tarpon. And big school of jacks pops up. So we get, and they were nice jacks, 5-6 pound jacks. So we got a couple of them hooked up as well. And had a couple more, had a break off, which I think was a bull shark. And had a couple of swirls that looked like tarpon swirls, but the water was gotten really dirty in there right now. So couldn't tell. But there's a lot of activity right there. And you don't think about it because there's so much boat activity coming through there.
Yes.
There's people coming out of the barge canal, people going in the barge canal, but they all wanted to be right there in that little intersection. But long story short, I said, all right, let's get on with it. And so we run on up and we stop at the snook spot. And I was like, hold on. And I handed him the tarpon rod. And he's like, what am I going to do with this? And I said, you're about to find out.
Yeah.
So the first fish that hit was about a 35-inch fish.
Good fish.
Ran him, tied a bimini twist around those red mangrove roots.
Right.
He went this way, then he went that way. He was like, holy cow. He goes, I was not expecting that.
That's why you got the tarpon rod.
So the next one, we moved on down the mangrove line a little bit. The next one, he was like, okay. And he got that one out. That was, but nice 27, 28-inch fish. Yeah. And he said to me, he says, are these males or females? And I said, well, I used to think that right around, a 27, 28-inch fish, that they were all turning into females at that point. I said, but in March of this year, two charters in a row, back-to-back charters, I filleted snook that were 31 3/4 inches. I mean, just barely under the 32 with a pinch tail.
Right.
That had eggs and milt in them.
Really?
Yeah. They had both reproductive things going on inside of them. And it was weird because in March, their egg sacs, the little egg sacs are just little thin, about the thickness of a straw you would drink your sweet tea with.
Right. Right.
They're just little thin things and about 6 inches, 7 inches long. But there's 2 of them in there, and then there's this big old milt sac, well, comparatively big, right next to it. So I guess they don't all transition at that 27 or 28-inch size. I mean, here's a fish that's almost top of slot and still showing signs of both sexes.
Right.
So that's kind of interesting.
It is. It makes you wonder what the actual length is when they change.
Before they fully change. Yeah. Or do they ever maybe even really fully change? I don't know.
Yeah. It's always an interesting fish.
That's a good question. Maybe one of our scientific-minded listeners out there has an idea. Well, guys and gals, Brian Pounds is in the house. Give us a call, 321-632-1000. That's our call-in line, 632-1000, right here at WWBC 1510 AM radio. And, of course, you can get us on the WWBC app and Facebook Live. Don't go away. We've got a whole other hour of Catch a Memory coming right back after these messages. Hey, guys and gals, welcome back. The second hour of Catch a Memory Outdoors starting right now. We appreciate you guys and gals tuning in every Saturday right here to Catch a Memory Outdoors. Remember, Carroll Distributing is presenter of this hour of the show, and they are your local Bud and Bud Light distributor for over 6 decades, proudly employing over 160 people right here in Brevard County and bringing you some fantastic products. So stop and say hey to those guys the next time that you see one delivering. Just say, man, thank you for your service. Also want to let you know that this segment of the show is brought to you by Petrucci Insurance. And, I say this day in and day out, but if you guys and gals haven't gotten a rate check, write this number down, 321-632-1200. That's 632-1200. Call them up and see if they can do something for you. Get a rate check. Sometimes they can help you. Sometimes they can't help you. Sometimes you have a better insurance policy than what they can write. But either way, you're going to know because they're going to do the research for you and find out who is giving you the best policy for the best price. And that's what Petrucci does every day. That's what they pride themselves on. So give them a shout there at Petrucci Insurance. We appreciate them being sponsors of this show. Brian, we were talking about this whole phenomenon with the snook in the Smyrna area. For years, guys knew about big trout.
Yes.
Big trout up around Edgewater, Oak Hill. There's still some big trout around, but I don't think people are focusing on those fish nearly as much. I think they're almost becoming bycatch because you've got redfish that have come back. Mm-hmm. You've got a mangrove snapper fishery that's very strong.
Man, that's very strong.
And you've got these snook now.
Yeah, the snook thing is just, I do it 6 months out of the year.
Yeah.
Not 8 months out of the year. As much as I can.
Do you find, so there's a time that you say, okay, well, it's not really worth messing with them right now? I'm sure colder months, it's got to be you got to be much more selective in the wintertime as to when you try to go snook fish than you do in the summertime. I know that there are days in the wintertime when I'm fishing the Indian or Banana River or down towards Sebastian in particular that I'm like, they're not going to bite today. So I don't even, based on the weather, I don't even bring the gear. I bring other gear to do other things.
Yeah. I guess I could say I kind of start my year January, backwater creeks.
Mm-hmm.
It gets so cold. They're going places to survive winter, and mud bottoms warms up quicker.
Yeah.
Water cleans up, but you still got that dark bottom. And it's an artificial bite. A lot of bait's not there. You go in some of these creeks with paddle tails, whack them.
Really?
And then once it warms up, they're out. They go do their thing. Not really sure where they go.
So here's the question. So the paddle tail's working for you, okay? And I'm thinking of 4 or 5 specific spots and pieces of bank that I fish in my mind that I know that there's snook in the wintertime. And I know that when they're black in color,
mm-hmm.
they are very, very difficult to get to eat. But at some point during the day, all of a sudden, you see them lighten up just a little bit. You see maybe a little bit of yellow tinge in their pec fins,
mm-hmm.
and you're like, "Oh, it's getting close. It's almost time."
Right.
And as soon as you see that first pop on those little teeny micro glass minnows in the mangrove roots or around that dock, that first pop, then you're like, "Oh, it's time." It's
right.
And so I'm like you. I'm throwing a little tiny paddle tail. I'm actually throwing a speckled perch bait, a little sea shad tail.
Yeah.
But in 2 or 2.5 inches.
Mm-hmm.
And I get the ones I get the gray ghost ones in particular from Bass Assassin. And man, that's
you put them on a jig head.
Yeah, on a little jig head,
16th ounce.
Yep. And and I do pretty good on them like that. Now where I'm fishing, it's not normally very deep, so I would think that those little, like a little storm swim bait,
3 inch,
or a little, maybe even a little spoon, would potentially work for them because it's flashing and rolling and doing its thing. But I don't have the water depth to fish that kind of a bait there. Are you able to in some places?
Oh
fish
yeah, like up
bait?
in the Quayasissy neighborhood. It's real deep. It's just a neighborhood with canals. People
Mm-hmm.
live on them, and snook pile up in there. It's just, and there are a lot of them are on the bottom. And then, when it warms up, they'll start floating.
They float. Yeah.
You'll see them skip docks. It's there's not a lot of bait around in the wintertime. So the artificial bite, in my opinion, it's like they're eating what they can.
Interesting.
And then once it warms up, they're gone. They'll go out on the flats, or they'll go, off the channel, lay on the docks in the ICW, whatever. And, in my opinion, they kind of thin out. Mm-hmm. Then I'm back in the lagoon red fishing.
I find that when they're not grouped up and they start to spread, they'll go to places, obviously sunlit places that get a lot of sunshine. But if you find an area that has rock, that seems to be key.
I love that rock bottom, especially in the winter.
Yes.
It's like, I don't know, it's like Homosassa, Crystal River, a good friend of mine over there, he loves to fish on that incoming tide. Mm-hmm. When that rock's exposed, the sun's on it, getting hot. Then when that water starts coming in, all those fish migrate to that rock or that oyster bar, and it's holding
because
heat.
It's a half a degree or maybe a degree warmer. Yeah,
it's just enough to attract them. Yeah. And that's kind of the same thing with the tidal area in Smyrna. You get close to some exposed rocks or oyster bars, there'll be fish around.
There's fish on them. Awesome.
In the winter, anyway. But
yeah,
and then back in the lagoon till basically I'd say late March to June, red fishing.
So right now we're mid-July. Croakers are what, 3 inches long or so right now?
I'm getting some up at Kate's right now that have some have been 6, but average about 5 inches.
Okay, so they're almost ready to transition out to the ocean.
Yeah, and I think what he's getting a lot of river croakers is what he's getting, not the big ocean, but those 5-inch croakers.
Yeah, because right about that 5 or 6 inch mark is when you start seeing them start to show up offshore. You never catch a 3-inch croaker on the beach.
No,
it's always that 6,
almost big enough to fillet.
Croaker. Yeah. What's interesting is I pulled up next to, there was a couple of people fishing the jetty the other day, and they were throwing croakers, and I had gone up the beach and netted some pogies, and I came back. This was Monday. Oh yeah,
you were catching. They weren't.
There was a firefight.
Really?
Guy looked over at me. He goes, "I just paid $3 a piece for these things. I can't get the snook to eat them."
And they're eating pogies.
Yeah, I said, "Well, the pogies are right up the beach there. Just go net you some."
Yeah.
He took off.
Yeah.
He took off when he got himself.
$3 a piece at the
port. They're $3 a piece.
They're still holding around $2 up in Smyrna, but not many bait stores.
Well, here's the thing, as you know, I mean, you go to the bait store. Okay, I got to have a dozen baits at least. Let's just say it's a 4-hour trip. Mm-hmm. I've got to have a dozen baits per guy.
That's it.
Okay, well, that's $36 a dozen, and I got 4 guys, so now I got $150 bait bill. I ain't put a piece of shrimp on the boat. Mm-hmm. I haven't bought any ice yet.
Yeah,
you're $140 just in bait, and that's if the bite is average. If the bite's hot and heavy, and you need more baits, you could spend $180 to $200 a trip on bait. Yeah. And guys are like, why do you charge $550 for a fishing trip? Well, this is why. Because some days there's $200 worth of just bait.
And then you get your gas. It adds up. People don't. It's.
But you can't show up unprepared.
No,
not
at all.
Unprepared.
You can't. That's just it. The other day I pretty much took all my artificial out of the boat. Mm-hmm. Some fish up there on the surface popping. They were jacks. Chasing a little bitty shrimp. I'm like, man, I wish I'd just thrown a redfish or a trout rod in here. And I'm like being unprepared. So I was like, what? I'm off today and tomorrow, so I'm gonna put some artificials back in the boat right now. But it's all been live bait. That's it. Hooks, leader, and croakers. That's all I've been worried about.
That's all you've been worried about. Yeah. Now, have you been getting? I know that the mangrove snapper start to transition offshore right now because they're going out there to spawn. But have you been up to this point when you're, fishing for the snook and the other fish? Have you been getting some decent sized mangroves?
I've actually caught some Cabera snappers.
Really?
Yes. I mean, I'd say 18-inch Cabera snappers in the river while I'm snook fishing on a croaker.
On a croaker.
Yes.
We're gonna
wild.
have to talk a little bit about that right after this break. Let's that's exciting news. Hey guys and gals, we're gonna take our break. Actually, we got a caller that's on the line as well, and then we're gonna be right back with more Catch Your Memory. So don't go away. Hey guys and gals, welcome back. Anheuser-Busch and Carroll Distributing have raised over $33 million to support scholarships for families of fallen veterans and first responders through the Folds of Honor. And right now, through September 1st, Carroll Distributing will donate $1 for every case of Bud or Bud Light beer sold here in Brevard County. So it's all part of their American Beers for American Heroes promotions. So if you guys and gals want to help and inspire those family members who have lost so much, get out there and let's raise one for those in need. We're going to go to the phone lines. We got Lisa Fitzgerald from CCA on the line. Good morning, Lisa.
Well, good morning, gentlemen. How are you?
Doing fantastic.
Doing
I didn't hear. There he is. Look at him busting on the top before we came on the air. So last week, she's on the boat somewhere, and the fish are blowing up, and she's like, I could tell she just wanted to hang the phone up and go fish.
Today I'm doing yard work. We're planting coconut palms down at Little Gasparilla Island. The island house was wiped out from all the hurricanes, so we're planting coconut palms and sea oats, and taking the sea oats seeds and dropping them, and then beach daisies. So hopefully we'll have a pretty yard again.
Yeah,
it's all sand right now. So, but I have to say, I am in the back of my mind. I'm thinking about all these people. We've had 3 so far. In the last week, since we talked last, we've had 3.
3 more redfish recaptured with green tags in them.
And no one was registered in the competition or a CCA member. They were caught up in the panhandle. It's unfortunate. However, the fish were released, so we're happy with that. And they're out there for someone else to catch. But we still have the Carolina Skiff E24DLX, the center console. Mm-hmm. We have the Seabourn 22 center console, a semi-offshore boat. Mm-hmm. Then we have a Spider Vapor FX19, beautiful boat. And then the 22 microdraft skiff, the Extreme. All of those boats are still available. And then we have 2 Carolina skiffs available for youth anglers that catch a tag fish. So there's 7 boats up for grabs. We have over 50 days of fishing left. And, if you target catching a tagged redfish, here's a little secret. I'm going to suggest, I'm not going to give away exact spots, but I am going to tell you that Citrus County and Charlotte County all have 8 fish in them.
Gotcha.
I will tell you that on our website, if you get registered in the competition, you can go back and look at where fish were caught in the past. And these fish are put in areas where people are known to catch redfish. And, old habits are hard to break. So when we're putting out fish, sometimes because they are good spots, we put those fish back in spots where fish have been caught in the past.
Oh, little insider tip there, huh?
Insider information.
Yeah.
So you might want to think about, when I'm gonna fish a tournament, I go online and I look at the area and I look at the captain's blogs and I look at everything where they're saying they're catching fish. And we know anglers are oftentimes fibbers about where they do catch fish. However, we can't be because we have to keep it documented for release purposes.
Well,
so
Lisa, I'll tell you.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you exactly where I caught every one of my fish. Right in the corner of the mouth.
In the water.
They were in the water, and I caught them right in the corner of the mouth. Every one of them.
Yeah, every single one. Well, but you're saying every fish, and I'm saying every fish you catch can be entered in the star competition. to win something.
Yeah.
We have $2 million in prizes. Who doesn't want a brand new Bull Bay rod with a Florida Fishing Products reel? Who doesn't want a brand new F250 Yamaha motor?
Right.
Who doesn't want a 150? A custom Ginu in the offshore division, power pole, Costa sunglasses, Minn Kota trolling motor, Humminbird electronics, Engel coolers, you name it, it's in the competition for you to win. And I know you get them over there on your coast a lot.
Yep.
Redfish with lots of spots. We have a lots of spots division. You can win a brand new custom SUP hybrid skiff with a Yamaha motor and a micro power pole on that little skiff just for catching a fish with the most spots.
Wow.
There's $25,000 in that division alone in prizes.
Lots of great stuff.
Kids are not going back to school yet. You should be having those kids out on the beach, on a dock, on a pier, because any snapper, pinfish, ladyfish, jack, any fish they catch can be entered in the youth scholarship division presented by Guy Harvey and Real Tree Fishing, and they can win their share of $100,000 in college scholarships.
Amazing stuff.
$25,000 and $5,000 scholarships. And it's not just a chance at winning it. It's a random drawing of your entries. And if your name is drawn, you win.
Lisa, real quick.
All the divisions.
So the CCA Star Tournament is going now through Labor Day weekend.
That's correct.
So how do they get involved with that?
All they have to do is go to our website, ccaflstar.com. If they are already a CCA member, it's only $40 for them to join. You select join now, join now, and it will take you to the page. If you're already a member, you just select the star emblem for Florida, and it's $40. If you are not a member, you're still going to select join now. It will ask you to fill out your information to be a member, and then select Florida Star, and that's $80. So you get $40 for your membership and $40 for the Star.
So it's basically $125 a day if you sign up today between now and the end of the tournament, because you said there's 50 days of tournament days left. Now, real quick, I want to talk about CCA's longevity in the sport, if you will. We are coming up on 40 years of CCA Florida this year, and there's going to be a banquet and celebration of that's coming up here, right in the center part of the state, right in Orlando, right in our backyard, basically
in December.
So
and let's tell you what, people,
let's talk about that.
A ball, B-A-L-L, a ball, a gala, a happening. It is Clint Black, one of my favorite country western artists. He is going to be there helping us celebrate. It's going to be at the Rosen Center in Orlando. Now, we've never, ever done anything like this before. It is, we call it a ball, a gala, black tie event, but guess what? You don't have, fellas, you don't have to wear a tuxedo. Ladies, we look at any opportunity to get gussied up, so we're going to take this one. That's right. But guys, you can just wear a suit. It is going to be spectacular. Open bar dinner. You can go to the CCA website and see the items that are up for grabs in our live auction are items you will see nowhere else. Some of the coolest stuff. It's just going to be an amazing event.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
It's going to help us celebrate 40 years of conservation efforts, starting from back when, we were a 12-man, and I have to say person because at that point I don't believe there was a woman involved in that, but we got one now. But there were 12 guys, and they were so passionate about what was happening to our waters. Could you imagine what our waterways would be like if these guys didn't form the Coastal Conservation Association of Florida.
I would probably be living in Texas or Louisiana.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, and then think about every person that has come through the organization that has changed it, and it has evolved into this conservation machine with right now $12 million in habitat restoration from oysters, clams, seagrasses, restocking, all of the offshore and nearshore reefs, all the programs that we didn't have in the state of Florida, or that were so minimal. And now, it's a trend. People are starting to see this is something that we have to do, and other organizations are being created in order to do good works. And I just love the fact that we've got so many different things happening. Look at the IRL clam restoration project with CCA supporting that. Blair and I being on the bow of a boat and him saying, I don't know how we're going to do this. I do.
Yep, I know people. Yep.
I know people. Let's get it done. It's just him leading. We have so many great leaders in the industry that are leading conservation and making it known that things have to change. I'm just hoping. This is my soapbox, and I'll get off of it in 2 seconds. Spraying and septic tanks.
Yes.
That's all I'm going to say.
Yep. Herbicides and septic tanks. I was just going to mention to Brian here. I've got Brian Pounds in the studio with me this morning.
Hey, Brian.
How are you? It's been a while.
It has been a while, buddy.
It has. Last time I think we spoke, I actually had a client catch a tag redfish. You remember that?
I was just going to say that, but I thought I might not want to hurt your feelings.
She didn't want to throw you under the bus.
Want to make me feel, yeah.
So it is possible anybody, including Brian Pounds' clients, can catch a tagged redfish.
That's right. There are fish in Mosquito Lagoon that have been tagged. Blair and I did that together. There are tagged redfish in Mosquito Lagoon. There are tagged redfish in the Indian River Lagoon system, in the Banana River, all up and down, all throughout the area.
There's a lot of opportunities for people to get involved with CCA and the STAR competition. So hopefully they will take advantage of that and go to the CCA website, or just they can
give us a call.
Yeah, I'm that guy. I'm the guy that likes to call.
So here, it's really easy. Get your pens out, or on your phone right now. Get your phone out in front of you. Put it on there. 844-387-7827. That's 844-387-7827. Call that number. We'll register you. We got a woman on the other end of the line, and women love to take your credit card and spend your money. We'll spend $80 of your money and get you registered in the STAR competition right away.
That's fantastic. Lisa, thank you so much for the support that you give to CCA and all of your efforts to help spread the word about STAR. And I look forward to seeing you again sometime real soon.
Well, I'm going to see you next week, right?
Possibly.
Are you going to ICAST?
No, I'm going to, I had initially decided to go, but I am not going now.
Dadgummit. Yep. All right, well, that was one highlight of my trip there. I loved always seeing you, so we'll definitely see you on the flip side if I get over that way.
That sounds fantastic. I appreciate the call this morning, and we look forward to hearing back from you next week with hopefully somebody that was registered that caught one of those tagged redfish.
Yes, sir, and great to talk to you, Brian. Have a great day.
Likewise,
guys.
Yes, ma'am.
Hey, gang, we're going to take our bottom of the hour break. When we come back, we got a whole lot more Catch a Memory Outdoors radio show right after these messages, so don't go away. Hey, gang, everybody likes beer, right? That's right. So why don't you do something with your next beer purchase that can help families of fallen veterans and first responders with Carroll Distributing's American Beers for American Heroes program through Folds of Honor. Carroll will be given $1 per case for every Bud or Bud Light case sold to honor the last 15 years of partnership with Folds of Honor. So crack open a cold one in honor of those whose family members have given the greatest sacrifice of all. That's a fantastic product, that program that they're doing right now. I tell you what, got to say thank you so much to Carroll Distributing for trying to get the word out about that. Couple of other things. We have, let's do the catch conditions real quick. Fishing conditions and boating conditions from Ponce Inlet to Sebastian Inlet. Today, south winds 5 knots, becoming southeast at 5 to 10. Looks like it's going to be absolutely gorgeous out there today. Seas inside of 20 miles are 2 feet with a dominant period of around 8 seconds. The 13-mile buoy out of Ponce is 2 at 7 right now, 80-degree water temp. The 4-mile buoy out of Canaveral is 81 degrees. Seas are 2 feet at 8 seconds. And then the 20-mile buoy out of Canaveral is 80 degrees and 2 feet at 8 seconds. So very, very consistent water temperatures right now on the surface. There's still a little bit of cold water swirling around here and there offshore, but not nearly like it has been over the past 3 weeks. The current conditions down out of Fort Pierce, their 6-mile buoy is reporting 81-degree water temp and 2 feet at 8 seconds. Western edge of the Gulf Stream really changed up this week. For those of you guys and gals that are out there trolling for dolphin and wahoo, the stream last week was 46 miles out of Ponce. This week it's only 40, so it has moved considerably closer to the mainland. Last week was a little over 30 out of Canaveral. It's 28 and 26 out of Sebastian right now. And the current surf temps at Ponce, 77 degrees. Cocoa Beach is 80 degrees. And Sebastian is 80 degrees. Tides look like this. We got a high tide coming up here at 9:29 a.m., a low at 3:20 p.m., and a high again this evening at 9:58 p.m. And then down at Sebastian, the high is 9:36 a.m., the low is 3:43 p.m., and the high is 10:11 p.m. Just remember the current change at the inlet is approximately 3 hours after that. And the best times to get out there to hunt and fish, presented by All About Archery. The major is 2:08 p.m. to 4:08 p.m. this afternoon. So if you're not dodging thunderstorms, you should be out fishing. And then the minors actually happen kind of stopping right about now, the minor for the morning. And then the minor for the evening is going to be 9:32 p.m. to 10:32 p.m. And we appreciate the guys at All About Archery sponsoring that particular segment of the show. Brian, you're showing me pictures of caberas. A cabera snapper is not something that I would commonly think of catching on a quote-unquote flats fishing excursion. So you figured it out, though. You've got multiple caberas over the last couple of years.
Why we're snook fishing, it's crazy. I wasn't... When I pulled it in, I'm like, this is not a mangrove snapper. What is this? So I found out what it was, and I'm like, that's not common.
Now, are you finding, are all these caberas basically coming off the same rock, or are you finding them on multiple rocks in multiple places?
It could be a rock, a dock.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they fight pretty good, too. I was like...
Yeah, I've had a few down at Sebastian Inlet on the jetty down there, or just drifting. Like if you're drifting through the inlet, on setting up on a drift for snook and redfish, and then all of a sudden you get that cabera bite. And you're right, it's a different fight altogether than what a snook or redfish is.
Yeah, you think you have a snook or redfish on, but the last 2 years, maybe get 1-2 a year, but. Yeah, stranger things have happened. I mean, in the river.
Now, and you typically get them in the summer months? Like now?
Croaker fishing for snooks when we normally get bit. If we drift an edge or something, rod bends over, it's just, the next you pull it up, it's a cabera. Pretty cool.
That is neat. They're such a pretty fish.
Yes.
With that striping. I mean, the closest thing is really maybe like a sheephead, when it comes to those vertical bars going down that fish. They're very, very colorful in some cases. And then other cases, they'll be almost a little darker.
Just dark red, like blackish red color. Then you get some that's got those stripes.
And then you see some of them that are almost got yellow, almost a yellowish tint to them on their stripes and stuff. Pretty cool stuff.
That blue shows up kind of right behind there. Some of them I've had. That's a pretty odd looking color on it, Pretty neat though.
Yeah, things like that. So Cabarrus and Permit, I think, are the two oddballs at Sebastian Inlet that you don't typically expect to hook while you're drifting for or fishing for the snook and the reds around the jetty down.
Well, you've caught some big permit down there for, haven't you?
Yeah.
In Sebastian, yeah.
We get some good ones.
Yeah. I know you're telling me stories of you catching bonefish down there.
Well, I haven't caught a bonefish yet, but
somebody
Glenn,
you knew. Okay.
Glenn catches bonefish. I don't know. He's like the bonefish whisperer or something. I don't get it because I will fish exactly the same way in exactly the same places that Glenn fishes. Okay, Captain Glenn Austin, that's who we're talking about here. And Glenn, I'll catch my ladyfish. I'll catch my trout. I'll catch my jacks. I'll catch my pompano. Okay, and he's doing the same thing. And then all of a sudden, he'll say, "Oh, we got a bonefish."
Yeah.
And he's literally 50 or 100 yards. We're drifting the same flat, throwing the same kind of jigs, and he can. I don't know if it's his people. It's just luck of the draw, I guess. But
what's any size to them?
No, they're kind of small. They're only about 1.5 pounds, 2 pounds, but they are.
What's a bonefish?
They are. Imagine taking a 17-inch speckled trout and crossing it with a Jack Crevalle.
Okay.
So it looks skinny and streamlined, but it's got some pull.
But
that's what these things, you hook them and they just woo and they're gone, and you're like,
it's the same species here that would be down in Biscayne.
I'm not sure. It could be.
Probably be the same, I guess.
I've never heard of all the guys that I've talked to that have said that they've caught bonefish both in Port Canaveral, along the beaches while they're surf fishing, and in Sebastian Inlet and inside the river, mainly down there on those flats. Most of the guys that I've talked to have said that all their fish were less than 2 pounds. So, is it just the size fish that happens to want to frequent this area and we don't get any bigger ones? The bigger ones just go elsewhere? Or is there maybe a little bit of a subspecies, kind of like you've got a common snook, a fat snook, a tarpon snook? You've got these other types of snook that also inhabit the same waters as a common snook. Is it just these bonefish might be a slight subspecies? Not sure.
Speaking of snook, I've actually caught some sword spines last year.
Yeah, are you serious?
Yes, yeah.
So here's the thing with sword spines. For years, the cutoff was Sebastian. Sebastian River was it. You weren't catching a sword spine, a tarpon snook, or a fat snook anywhere north of there. And then all of a sudden, they started creeping north. You can actually catch a lot of sword spine snook in the Canaveral area underneath the docks at night.
Really?
The lighted docks at night. Yeah. If you're pitching shrimp in there, a lot of you have a pretty good chance of getting a sword spine snook. A fat snook and a tarpon snook, not quite so much.
Right.
But I mean, that's really so. Not only the fact that regular common snook have become a regular occurrence at Ponce, but you're now getting sword spine snook up there.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yep. I've caught probably 3 or 4 over the last 2 years. Mark Elliott caught one. He knew exactly what it was when we got it in the boat. But the first one I caught, I'm like, this fish is not right. And I'm like,
well, the first thing you do is you go to lip them to unhook them.
Yeah.
And their mouth is a little tiny mouth.
Like grabbing a speck out of the
like
water.
A speck of perch.
Yeah. And that's what it was. And that was pretty wild as well. Like, hey, that new Smyrna area, it's just, you never know.
Never know
a
what
box
you're
of chocolates is for us.
Yeah, a box of chocolates.
It's always a trip for sure.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, when you go to grab that lip and you're like, wait a minute,
something's not right.
That's not right. That's not right. Well, I'll tell you what, we're gonna go to a break here in just a second. Sounds like we got another caller on the line. Want to do something real quick. Haven't done this yet this morning, and I was supposed to after the last break. So before we go to the next break, we're going to talk about
pretty awesome.
The ultimate magic sponge. So you guys and gals all know that there's that black streak, there's that little rub mark. There's the fenders at all of the docks have those little rubber bumpers, and they always put they leave residue on the side of your boat. This thing, this Starbright Ultimate Magic Sponge, all of the white material is like the cleaning part of the product, and then the yellow part is the actual
scrubbing
kind of sponge, just kind of holds it together, really. But all those little scuffs, nicks, all those little things that just your deck brush and your various cleaning solutions won't take out, this thing right here gets them. So get yourself a Starbright Ultimate Magic Sponge.
Pretty cool.
And Brian, you get to take that one home with you.
Awesome. Thank you.
So
it will be put to use.
That along with your other bucket of goodies that I've got out in the truck.
Goody.
So we're going to take our next break, and when we come back, we got a caller on the line, so don't go away. Captain Brian Pounds, myself, Jim Ross, and our mystery caller are coming up right after these messages. Hey, guys and gals, welcome back. We appreciate you tuning in every Saturday right here to Catch Your Memory Outdoors. It's been, I tell you what, it's been a whole lot of fun here. And I got to get, this segment of the show is brought to us by Strike Zone. So we want to thank those guys and gals down at Strike Zone for doing what they do. If you guys and gals need any of the products that you hear us talk about on the show, you can pretty much find them down there. And we also want to say thank you very much to Carroll Distributing, the distributors of Bud and Bud Light Beer, for sponsoring this hour of the show. Captain Matt Lee is our mystery caller on the line.
Good morning.
How you doing, buddy?
Good, man. How y'all?
We're doing good. Got Captain Brian Pounds in the studio with me this morning.
What's going on,
hey,
buddy?
Cap. Well, what's going on, y'all? Haven't spoke to you in a minute.
Well, it's one of those things where I'm on a hashtag no red snapper weekend.
Yeah. Well,
but there's a lot of people out there enjoying trying to chase those things around.
I'm telling you what, it was crazy going to the boat ramp this morning. I mean, every gas station thing was full. I mean, it's amazing how many people go. I mean, just absolutely amazing. I sat there watching 4 30-foot plus boats go by me this morning at a stoplight. And I'm like, Jesus, that's crazy.
Here's the thing, Matt. When you look at, this is just one species, okay? One species that people like to chase. Look at the economic impact of these 2 days and this one species.
Mm-hmm.
If the National Marine Fisheries would get it right, and if FWC, they're in most cases trying to get it right. The only fault I have with FWC is their lack of a restocking program. Every other county, every other state, just about from North Carolina, all the way to Texas, has a restocking program. Florida does not. CCA does restocking through CCA money, partnered with Duke Energy. But FWC does not participate in.
No, they're just there to take your money.
In a restocking program. And so here's the thing. Obviously, money makes things work. Yeah. My fishing license for myself, I get the Gold Sportsman. Okay, it's $100 a year. That's hunting and fishing license combined. Lets me hunt WMAs. I get my snook stamp on top of that. Here's a couple of things that I think would be really, really beneficial. A scallop stamp. So if you go scalloping, you get a scallop stamp. Because like you've got a lobster stamp. Okay, so a scallop stamp, I think that would put some additional monies back in to do some scallop, replanting, if you will. And if every one of us were to throw an extra $5 on our fishing licenses, okay, so let's just say it's 10 million people in the state of Florida that buy a fishing license, and it's way more than that, but let's just say it's 10 million. An extra $5, that's, a considerable amount of money to put towards a restocking program to put redfish, trout, snook, flounder, sea bass, grouper, cobia, various other species back in our waters. Maybe not so much the offshore fish as much as the inshore fish, but look at a fish like mangrove snapper. They start inshore and then transition offshore. Grouper, start inshore, transition offshore. So there are species that are offshore species that could benefit from a restocking program that would start off as an inshore species, plus all of the inshore species. If we could enhance by giving an extra $5 per fishing license and earmark that specifically for restocking, man, the overall economic impact. I mean, like I said, look at these 2 days at Red Snapper, the economic impact that it has on the gas stations, the bait and tackle shops, all of these different. I'll tell you who else benefits from it. The repair shops.
Yeah.
How many people have some kind of an issue that they have to then take to the repair shop, whether it's a steering seal goes out, whether it's your trim switch goes out, whether it's you blew your motor up. Look at the economic impact that is a result from this 2-day weekend. I just think that we could really benefit by kicking a little more money in and enhancing the fishery. But speaking of an enhanced fishery, the last time I talked to you, Matt, you were on a redfish and trout terror up in the Mosquito Lagoon. Are you still having some success with those species?
Absolutely.
Good.
I think we've caught 20 plus trout this morning already. I just posted one bait for a redfish. Next year is going to be really good. We're getting our keepers and we're catching good fish. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't want to sound it that way, but next year's population from all the shorts we've been catching too is going to be good. In the redfish, the water's been so low when you can find a red, usually he's with 5 or 6, 10, 12 more, and they've been tailing really nice lately. So if you can get up there and get a bait up to them, 9 times out of 10 they're going to swallow it up. They've been chasing the shrimp around. So if you can get a large, they've been catching some river shrimp in the bait shops and stuff. So those have been working really good, along with chunk mullet, live mullet, pigfish, croakers, whatever you can get your hands on. Just get it in front of them, and 9 times out of 10 they're gonna whack it. I did get on some fish the other day that they wouldn't eat, but I moved to the other side of the bay and caught them. So it's just finding those ones that are going to eat, but the water's been super low, and it's been pretty cool to watch them all tailing and stuff. So that's definitely a benefit.
So you know what, Matt? I have been thinking about this all week long. Mike Mann called in last week, and we were talking about global warming, okay?
Absolutely.
And how ocean level rise is supposed to be a thing because of the polar caps disappearing, melting. And Mike brought up a really good point that I don't think I've ever heard. Well, I know I've never heard before. Mike brought up the point. I said, well, if the polar caps are melting and sea level rise is a real thing, why does the water seem like it's lower in the Mosquito Lagoon the past couple of years than what it was before? I mean, it goes low at certain times of the year, but it's overall lower all year long.
It's been super. When it dropped out over the wintertime, it never came back up.
Yeah. Well, think about this.
I mean, a lot of it's got to do with these west winds. We've had a lot of west winds pushing this water out.
Well, think about this. If you have a water bottle and it has water in it,
mm-hmm.
It has a certain amount of volume. What happens when you freeze the water bottle?
It expands.
Exactly. It expands. The ice takes up more volume than the water does. So
right.
this whole thing,
melting, we're
actually losing water height because of the water is no longer taking up. It's not frozen and not taking up as much volume. And that just, I've been blown away by that all week long, and I don't know why I have been, but for whatever reason, that has just been a recurring thought in my head all week long.
Got me thinking.
Isn't that crazy though?
Too, but the other side of it is I just had it in my head. What was I going to say? I don't remember now.
Well, I'll tell you what you
That's
do.
A good point.
What's that?
He's right about that water.
I had a good point, and I was going to say something, but I can't remember now.
Well, you were talking about those shrimp that have been jumping around on the flats. Are you actually visibly watching the redfish chase them up out of the water and they're jumping?
Oh yeah.
Dude, that is so cool. That is one of the coolest things to be able to watch the shrimp jump out of the grass and the redfish chasing them around.
Yeah, one day I got up there to them, and I got one on chunk, and then they just kind of shut off on it. And I'm sitting there just watching them. I'm just waiting for them to eat, and then all of a sudden I started seeing a shrimp jump. Pow! He got eaten. And I'm like, the next day I came in, I had about a dozen of those large ones. I took the tail off, and I flung him up in there and reeled it. I threw it past the fish, and I reeled it back to him and dropped it. Didn't even hit the bottom. Pow! I'm like, well, that's the way to do it, boys.
That's awesome.
But the fishing's ever since about Father's Day weekend, it's picked up pretty good. Now it's not like it used to be. Like the water, like I said, the water's low, but the mullet haven't really shown up like they should have either.
I think they're all out on the beach right now. There's a lot on the beach.
But that's crazy because this time of year, we should have more finger mullet in here that we should be able to shake a stick at.
Yeah, you're right.
So something's definitely off and different. I don't know what it is or why, but it's definitely off. But the fish are here. I mean, the fish are good. You got, some days are better than others, but today's been pretty good.
Well, any day that you get to watch redfish rooting around and kicking shrimp up and then popping them, that's a good day. Even if you don't catch that fish, just watching them do what they do, that's the coolest thing, man. I love that.
I tell everybody too. Yeah, it's like now we've gotten these tailors. Now we've shut down these redfish and gotten a few back in here, and watching them tail. And I'm like, I get people on there like, you guys don't understand how cool this is. Like we went years without seeing this.
Yeah,
like, really? It's cool, And then
it's happening again.
And then I'll finally I just can't stand it. I got to get up there and put a bait in them. You know what I mean? Like.
Well, buddy, we're out of time, but how does somebody get a hold of Code Red Fishing Charters and get out with Captain Matt Lee and watch those shrimp jump around and those redfish blow them up?
Oh, man, give me a call, 386-214-3530, or hit me up on Facebook, Instagram, website, whatever, CodeRedFishingCharters.com.
All right, brother. Thanks so much for the call this morning.
Yep, thanks, Jim.
All right, bye-bye now. Brian, we're out of time.
Goes by quick.
It's gone. How does somebody get a hold of Captain Brian Pounds, go do some snook fishing, or maybe even a cabera?
407-702-3643, southernfishingchartersfl.com, and
just Google Brian Pounds.
Just Google Brian Pounds. You'll find me. I'm there.
Captain Smyrna Snook is what. Man, I appreciate you coming in.
Good times, buddy. Always a pleasure. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. We need to get on the boat together.
We do. We do. Just holler at me. We'll do it.
It's finding the time. Finding the time. Well, guys and gals, until next week, we want you to go out there. Remember, try and help out those in need. If you're going to be buying some beer, get yourself some Bud Light, and help those people through Folds of Honor and Carroll Distributing. As always. We appreciate you tuning into the radio show every Saturday morning. And if you miss the show, you can always go back to the WWBC website and click on the Catch a Memory Outdoor tab. And then you can find all the archive shows and listen to those shows. So until next week, do exactly what we're going to do. Get out there and catch yourselves a memory.